Good evening, welcome to my channel. My name is Felipe. I'd like to invite you to subscribe in this channel. Don't forget, leave a like, share this video with your friends, start the notifications. Don't forget, if you're going to buy at internet, click in the link below, amazon.com. Thank you very much. Let's start. The book has described intermodal service to this point as requiring a container load of freight to be transferred between modes. That definition may be narrow. Closely coordinated service offered by two modes should also be considered as intermodal. For example, the Port of Seattle runs an ATL truck service. It contrasts with about 6 trackers to provide regular LTL less than truckload service to and from the lower 48 states. In first 6 months of service, the program at the time the ports published rates for the service are granted for 6 months, making it possible for an exporter importer to enter into a long-term arrangement. Local customs house brokers also use the service. Shipping volume to from California is the largest. It was anticipated because the program was designed to reach the Midwest. It costs about $450 to ship 2,000 pounds of Class 100 footwear, etc. from Seattle to New York via the port's LTL program. Yellow Freight Systems was the motor carrier with the largest volume under the program. The shipper with the largest volume was a Rhode Island firm which imported toys. Yellow Freight is one of the best-known LTL motor carriers in the United States. In 1992, it entered into agreements with a European motor carrier that serves 16 nations in the European community. Yellow offers a one-invoice system for European shipments, with containers stuffing through the ports of New York and New Jersey for shipping on one of two shipment lines, the Twine-based Evergreen Line or the Germany-based Hapag-Lloyd. The company will offer comprehensive cargo tracing and expert advice in customs clearance and freight forwarding. By the end of 1992, a total of 7 well-known U.S. LTL motor carriers were developing connections with motor carriers in other continents. In addition to Yellow, the carriers were ABF Freight System, Conway Intermodal, Carolina Freight, Railway Express, API Transport, and St. Johnsbury Trucking. They all had connections in Europe, but one or more had also developed connections in Asia, Europe, South America, South Africa, Chile, or the Middle West. The completeness of coverage of some of these overseas areas is known. The trucking companies also had to develop partnerships with ocean carriers and port terminal operators who handled the consolidation. 3 of the U.S. motor carriers were graded to handle exports from the U.S. only for handling both export and exports. Intermodal movement by air. Air freight is intermodal because pickup and delivery service is provided by the truck. The U.S. airline industry has had an affiliation through Air Cargo Inc., which local truckers, airlines, airports to perform pickup and delivery service for all air carriers using that airport. They pick up and deliver both domestic and intermodal shipments. In some instances, helicopters are used to connect with points away from the airport. This is done for emergency shipments, especially during times when roads in airports vicinity are clogged. The development and growth of parcel and express carriers, such as UPS and Federal Express, is now spreading overseas. These carriers' fleets of trucks and planes are being augmented by contracts with parcel and express carriers in these foreign countries to perform the pickup and delivery service necessary to complete an international movement. For the most part, these carriers use their own equipment, but they will contract space with other carriers if that proves to be advantageous. Surface intermodal facilities elsewhere in the world. Western Europe and the industrialized nations of Asia have container ports that are sophisticated as those found in the United States. Each year, an increasing share of the world's general cargo moves via container. Indeed, some shippers are forced to use containers because container ships are the only one readily available. Often, the only way to load cargo aboard a container ship is to load into a container. An issue in developed countries is the ability of ports and island transport to handle and benefit from the use of containers. Developing nations complain of being forced into containerization. The experience was described this way: just imagine how uncomfortable you will be when you are asked to buy a pair of very expensive shoes which do not fit, and then you have to shape your feet to wear them. Although a port has to invest in expensive container handling cranes, this is offset by not having to construct buildings to store the cargo while entering port because the containers provide protection. It is also believed that in many developed countries the containers are loaded, unloaded at ports and other means of transportation whole small quantities to and from ports. Note that in many trades, a container load of any good represents an investment that would be excessive for many firms, either buying or selling. Another impact that increased intermodalism has had in many nations is the increase in door-to-door international movements. Unloading containers and reloading their contents into trailers and rail cars. At West Coast ports found that retailers were having containers loaded with imports moved through the port to some island point. This was for the three reasons. 1. The development cost efficient double-stack rail service and its promotion by ocean carrier has made it more attractive to ship containers intact to island destinations.